Welcome. Welcome to the Hollywood to the Himalayas experience. I'm so touched and so looking forward to spending the next 6 weeks together as we really all dive into that transformation, that awakening, that depth that is possible for all of us. Yes, mine happened because my physical body journeyed quite literally from Hollywood to the Himalayas. But wherever you are in the world, that shift in mindset, that shift in identification, that shift in experience can be yours. And that's what the next 6 weeks are going to do, is bring us together as we shift, as we journey from the Hollywood way of thinking, of living, of identifying, that superficial, shallow, focused on drama, story, plot, costume, body, role, to the Himalayan way of thinking, of living, of being, which is focused on that truth of who we are. But in order to do that, we have to know where we're going. Who is that self we want to experience all the time? Who is that self we are opening toward, moving toward? If I say to most of you, who are you? If we meet someplace and I say, who are you? Chances are you're going to give me your name, maybe your age, maybe where you're from. You'll tell me maybe your career, what you do. If we go a bit deeper, you might share with me some of your emotional and psychological processes, the fears you have, the joys you have, the hopes you have. Maybe you'll share the suffering that you've experienced, challenges, your expectations, your dreams. But none of that is you. All of that, both the name, the age, the size, the shape, the story, the career, the bank account, as well as the internal processes that take place in the brain, the chemical and electrical processes that we call emotions or feelings or thoughts. The brain runs on chemistry and electricity, that's all it is. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion that you've ever had is just a pattern of electrical and chemical reaction and interaction. So that's not who you are. We're not our physical experience, not the physical body, because of course that keeps changing, right? Let's say you're driving down the road and someone calls you and they say, who are you? And you say, I'm exit 51. And they say, no, I didn't ask you where are you. I asked you, who are you? And then you say, oh, now I'm exit 52. They would think that either your phone didn't work, like you couldn't hear them, or that you had gone crazy. Because obviously, regardless of where our car has reached, that's not who we are. It's just where we are. I am at exit 51. The physical body in the physical car is at exit 51. Now physical body in physical car is at exit 52. But where I am, and especially where my physical body is, that's not who I am. That's just the intersection of where this physical form has reached at this intersection of time and space. But it's not who you are. But if I say to you, I'm a 50-year-old female, American-born sannyasi living in India for the last 25 years, a spiritual teacher, an author. That's like saying I'm exit 51. That's just where this physical body has reached to this moment in time. This body has reached 50 years. It was manufactured in America. Then it's been driven to India, right? I'm the 1971 California model. But it's not who I am. Who I am is that which has nothing to do with the physical body. Nothing to do with the chemistry and electricity in my brain. Nothing to do with that which has happened to this body, happened through this body, its color, its size, its shape. None of it. So who is that? Who is that I? Now, intellectually and philosophically we can say, oh, who you are is soul, it is spirit. And that's true. Unfortunately, it doesn't do us much good if all we can do is know it intellectually. I can say to you, you are soul, you are spirit. But until you really have that experience within you, it's not going to transform you. And so one of the most beautiful and powerful ways I have found to realize what we are not, and therefore what we at least might be, is to think back. Think back. Hi, sweetie, are you back? To think back to the first time. It's okay, you want to be in the video too, no problem. To think back to the very first time that you ever said I. So right now, if I say I is this 50-year-old female, American-born, living in India, sannyasi, spiritual teacher, okay. But 25 years ago, I was very different. 25 years ago, first of all, I was 25 instead of 50, but I was living in the Bay Area of California. I was a PhD student. The whole story of I was so different 25 years ago. But I was still saying I. And then if I go back 40 years ago, at 10, well, I was so different. So go back, take a moment, and just allow yourself to go back to the very first moment that you remember saying, I, or me, or mine. How old were you? Chances are you were probably around 2. Seems to be the age that we learn that sense of self, that separate sense of self. That's why we talk about the terrible 2s, right? Those are the ages when we start learning I, me, mine. Okay. Well, the I of you at 2, who was that I? Think think about it for a minute. What did I mean at 2? Now think about, what did I mean at 10 or 11? What did it mean at 20? And as you look back from 2 to 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to however old you may be now, how did your physical body look? What was your life made up of? What did you think about? What size and shape were you? What did you do? How big was your bank account? What were the chemical and electrical patterns taking place in your mind at that time? Your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings? Now, we realize that everything has changed. From 2 to 10, from 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Everything has changed. And yet that inner experience of I, actually has stayed constant, even though its outer expression has been different. Our age, our size, our shape, our role, our story, our drama, our identification. But that inner experience of I has been not only constant, but it's been unbroken. As the body changes, as the roles change, as our stories change, I stays constant. Who is that? Who is that constant I? So again, I can say to you, it's soul, it's spirit, but don't worry about the semantics right now. The whole point of this course is for you to have the experience, the awareness, the knowing in yourself. The words are virtually irrelevant. They're different in different languages anyway. What is the inner experience? When you think back to I, at 2, at 10, at 20, and that same I-ness you're seeing today, there's something constant. Who is that? Don't answer it semantically, don't answer it verbally. Just allow that answer to just begin like a seed sprouting within you. Let the question be the soil in which that seed starts to sprout. Because knowing who you are is actually the key to not only your own deepest and highest awakening spiritually, but it's also the only way to know actually how to live your lives. You know, we look around and every other creature knows exactly what it is. What to do. These dogs, they act like dogs. They bark, they come, they lick, they give their paws. The cows that are wandering, they act like cows. They don't come up and give you a paw. They don't bark. They don't lick you the way dogs do. They act like cows. Every animal knows exactly what it is and therefore what to do, how to live. Every species knows. All species in nature, trees, flowers, apple trees know to give apples. They never get confused and give oranges. Rose bushes know to give roses, and roses know to smell like roses. Nothing ever gets confused. The dog never looks at a cow and says, I wonder if I should also eat grass. I wonder if I should also moo. I wonder. It knows. And the monkeys that roam around here, Well, the dog or the cow doesn't look at the monkey climbing the telephone pole or swinging from electrical wires and say, ah, maybe I should do that. It knows. I'm a dog, I'm a cow, I'm a monkey. Now, as human beings, we're told that we are the absolute pinnacle of evolution. Spiritual evolution as well as physical evolution, of course. But spiritually, we are this highest form of evolution. Our scriptures and spiritual teachings tell us. And yet, we're so confused. More confused than the dog, the cow, the monkey, the rose, the apple tree. We're probably the only species on Earth that actually doesn't know what it is, and therefore has no idea how to live or what to do. We're constantly looking around us, trying to do what others are doing, not paying any attention to who we are. It would be like the dog trying to swing from the telephone poles or the electric wires because the monkey does. Or the cow trying to, give a paw like the dog. It's cute to think about, but not very practical. And yet with us, that's how we live. Oh, my neighbor's a doctor. I should also be a doctor. This one's rich. I should be as rich as this one. This one is tall and thin. I should be thin. This one's got so many followers on Facebook. I should also have that. This one is living this type of life, married with kids, this type of job. I should also do that. We're constantly judging, comparing, identifying ourselves based on how we measure up to others without realizing we are not them. Who are we? Who am I? Not the doctor, certainly not the neighbor's doctor, but not even the doctor if that's what I choose to be. I am not my career choice. I'm not the roles that I play. Because remember, we just did this with our ages. Well, I was saying I long before I became a sannyasi. I was saying I long before the doctor is a doctor. What's the I? Pre-bank account, pre-profession, pre-relationships. Who's that I? And again, don't try to answer it, but just allow it to start to percolate within you. Allow that experience of who might you be if you weren't the form. And of course, there's two aspects of the answer, and we'll look at both of them in the course. One aspect is what we could call the universal I. That's the answer like soul, spirit, divinity, consciousness. That answer is true regardless of your body, your karmic stories, where you are, regardless of anything. Every one of us, that is our highest truth. Individual I. That is our expression of soul here on earth. In Sanskrit, we speak about Atma, soul, and then Jivatma, which is that individual soul. So there's the Paramatma, which is the divine, the supreme, of which we are all part, embodiments, manifestations, reflections. And then there's Jivatma, which is how my particular karmic package, karmic journey is unfolding and manifesting the soul, spirit, consciousness here on planet Earth. Neither of those is the body, the role, the story, the drama. Because again, remember, it keeps changing. It all keeps changing. Right now, I sit before you and you could say, if you didn't know and you hadn't heard me give the first part of this talk, well, I am the sannyasi. I am the orange-robed one. Well, if these clothes are part of and I take them off, and I throw them in the corner of the room or in the hamper or in my closet, I hang them back up. Are those clothes me? Could you point to the clothes and say, oh yeah, there's Sadhviji? Well, of course not. What if I gave a blood donation? Now you've got my blood in a container. Well, at the moment, you could say the blood is me. Again, if you didn't know better, if you hadn't heard the you are not your body. Could you point to that blood and say, oh yeah, that's Sadhviji? If I cut off my hair and you had my hair in a basket, could you point to it and say, oh, that's her? If you collected all of the cells that my skin keeps shedding every day, if you were, a spiritual forensic scientist and you sort of followed me around and you collected the skin cells as they sloughed off, could you point to those skin cells and say, that's Sadhviji? Of course not. And yet, as I sit before you today, you would say, there she is. That's her. The clothes, the hair, the skin cells, the blood. But clearly they're not me. There's a very beautiful practice called niti niti. And it's a practice of saying not this, not that. There's a very special niti niti meditation that we're going to put. It'll be available for you in your extra resources. And I really encourage you to actually go into that. It's a practice of saying, I am not the clothes I wear. I am not the skin. I am not the blood. I'm not. And it takes you through everything you're not, until that space is created of actually what you are. And that's the key, is it's about saying, I am not this, I am not that, and we remove the layers, like you're peeling back layers of an onion. And this is a practice, by the way, that you can do all day long. And you should do it all day long. That's the whole purpose of this course, how to live it, not just learn it, not just something you're going to check off of a list. Yeah, I did the course today, but actually live it. So as you go through your life, something happens, you feel irritated, you feel frustrated. Well, look at that and say, not this. This is not me. I am not the chemical and electrical experience of frustration I am having. I am not the emotion. You don't have to analyze it. Don't judge it. Don't tell yourself a story all the time. Don't think about, when was the first time I ever got frustrated? It's not Freud's couch. It's just a practice of awareness. It arises. We look at it, we notice it, we say, not this. I am not that feeling or emotion any more than I am the clothes that I'm wearing. It's a chemical. It's an electrical reaction. Think about playing a game of tennis. A tennis ball comes to you. What do? Do you analyze it? Look at it? Hold on to it? Stick it in your clothes? Sleep with it? No, you just hit it back. In the same way, as things arise in your life, a feeling, an emotion, an experience. Just notice it. We're not judging it, we're not condemning it, we're not repressing it or suppressing it. We are simply noticing it and acknowledging this is not self, not this. Niti niti means not this, not this. I am not this. I am not the anger. I am not the anxiety. I am not the loneliness. I am not this thought. I am not this relationship. As you're living, just keep, as the mind tries to wrap itself around things with an identification, just lob it back gently. You're not trying to kill your component. Don't think about it as, smashing the ball down somebody's throat. Just think about it as a gentle lob, just a gentle, not this, not this, not this. And slowly, slowly into the space of what you are not. The truth of what you are will emerge. Because we have to clear the room. Most of us are so full of who we think we are that there's no room for who we actually are to emerge. So first we have to create that stillness and quiet, that freedom from what we are not. So allow this to be a daily practice. If a voice in your head says, oh my God, you are so stupid, just not this. Neither am I the stupid one, nor am I the one saying you are so stupid. Not this. Not this. So I look in the mirror, oh, you are so beautiful, or oh my God, you are so ugly, or whatever it may be. Again, just not this. Not this. As we get reactive to how other people speak to us or look at us or act or live their own lives, as our own internal commentary starts to say, oh, how dare they? I hate that. That hurts. Why me? Just notice it. Not this. I am not this story. I am not the judge. I am not the hurt one. I am not the jealous one. I am not the complaining one. I am none of these. I am that soul, that spirit, that consciousness, that truth, that love. That is the truth of who I am. So, for this week, your practice is just going to be to allow that which you are not to drop off. As you remove it layer by layer, like we take off the clothes at the end of the day, and to allow that which you are to simply emerge in the space. But, lastly, there's a very powerful practice to help who you are actually emerge. And so let us all just close our eyes. Close our eyes and allow the awareness to draw into the breath. There's a guided daily meditation as part of this course. You'll find it in this week's resources that I hope you'll do every day. And that meditation is going to guide you into finding and anchoring yourself in a very sacred energy center called the Swadhisthana chakra that exists about 2 inches below our belly button. If you've already listened to that meditation and started the practice, you know how to anchor there. If not, take a moment and just allow the awareness to anchor itself in that energy center. Swadhisthana in Sanskrit literally means the place of the self. So we anchor there. Allow the breath to flow in that center. We take our inhalations there. And we exhale back into that seat of the self. Take a few moments and just allow that flow of breath and energy to flow naturally in and out of the Swadhisthana chakra. Again, it's just about 2 inches below the navel. As you inhale, allow the lotus flower of that energy center to open and expand. And as you exhale, allow yourself to sink deeper and deeper into that core of the self. Now, on the next inhalation, we're going to add a gentle mantra. And the mantra is Ko Hum. Ko is who. Hum is I am. So the mantra means, who am I? On the inhalations, allow yourself to chant silently to yourself, Ko. And on the exhalations, hum. Allow yourself to chant that slowly to yourself, with the inhalations and exhalations at your own pace. And allow the depth of that question, who am I, to permeate through every cell of your being. If the mind wanders, don't worry. Just bring it back. Don't allow yourself to get distracted by a wandering thought or sensation. Just bring the mind back to the breath, back to the mantra. Allowing the mantra to continue to percolate through your awareness. Slowly and gently bring your hands together at your heart center. Bow to that presence of the divine within yourself. Slowly rub the hands against each other. Place the palms of your hands over your closed eyes. Slowly and gently open your eyes and lower your Who are you? Who are you? Who are you? You are. You are the divine. You are whole. You are full. You are complete. Allow that to just permeate your awareness throughout this beautiful week as you do the exercises also that we've given to deepen and deepen and deepen your own awareness of yourself. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. So, so, so much love to you all.